Good morning everyone, Jeremy here from Flatware Creations. Today I was going to do a real quick tutorial on how I put on my silhouettes for cutting them out. We need some Mod Podge, scissors, some silverware, forks or spoons, not forks unless you're doing really the top, but our spoons. This is a little baby spoon. What I've been doing is printing out the silhouettes I want to use, and what I've also been doing is taking and numbering them by their size. So from the system, I'm doing all this in Word. So this is 0.5 inches, I think that was wide, and then 0.6, 0.7, and so on. And then up at the top, I generally do, come on Gus, you know, I generally do a few where I'll pull a certain way, make them taller, make them a little bit wider, just to kind of experiment with not the standard. So, and what happens is my first printout was like this, but they're all really small. So I did this, and that helped it. Come on, Gus. So what I'm doing is I'm going to take my spoon and put it on the back side of my paper, and I'm going to point you up towards the light here. And what we're looking for is, I want to do this in the balloon. So what we're looking for is to make sure the balloon isn't taking up so much. So let's slide down to the next one. That one looks pretty good. Let's go down one more. Okay, and that proportion actually looks a lot better. So it's not taking up too much. You have enough structure on the sides, and we have enough there. It's big enough to work with. So I'm just gonna cut it out, bring it down here. So now we have our little piece. I'm just going to trim it up. You want to leave some room so that the paper has something to stick to. Come on, Gus. Give me 5 minutes, buddy. Alright, so now as we put it on here, now we can see shape a lot better. Come on, Gus. There we go. Alright, so we're gonna put this one on. Let's get rid of all of our other silhouettes. Actually, we'll probably just turn them over. A couple of the other ones I've done. Okay, I have a little paintbrush. There it is. Oh, I guess it's a big paintbrush. And I'm just going to take my Modge Podge. Get some on there. Nice healthy amount. It's going to peel off real easy later on. See if I can maybe have a little less light. we're just going to put this about where we want it. I think that looks pretty good. I'm just going to dap down the edges. And I want to make sure the whole thing's leveled out. Get off some of the excess glue. And we're done. We'll let this dry for a little while. The next one I have ready to go. Gus, get down. Get down. You can help me later. Got a big spoon here. Just get the whole face. This is a new pattern for me. It just printed up. So the octopus is going to go this way. I want to center it the best I can. So we've got the octopus on there. I want to make sure that there's not too much of it real close to the edge, because the closer to the edge you go, the less stability you're going to have on that edge. And we don't want these to bend unless you're going to put like a backing on it. If you're putting a backing on it, it doesn't really matter. There's our octopus. Put that one to the side. Another new pattern. This little hummingbird. I just found out that I can cut these guys out and finish them at the shows. Oh, I can't. I get the light right. Okay, we're gonna put our little guy on there. There we go. Got them positioned where I want them. Now tap down my edges. You really want to make sure that you get enough underneath it, because as you're sawing, it's going to want to lift up. And if it's an intricate pattern, if it lifts up too much, it's going to kind of be guessing where you need to be, or where your lines need to be. Another souvenir spoon bowl. And I've already prepped these. They're already flat, and I've already drilled the holes. So the only thing I need to do is to cut these out and then get them in the tumbler. There you go. That looks pretty good in there. Another turtle. People really like turtles. Get a lot of requests for them. See a lot of people with them. Tattoos and things like that. That guy's done. It's just taken a few minutes for each one. There's a new butterfly. It's kind of weird. I have almost all of the lights off in here, but the light from the window and the one backlight. So this is a new butterfly pattern for us. There we go. Dapping down the edges here. All right. Do I have any more octopus. I think that is it. So play around in your Word program. If you go to scale the image, like we did here, play around with it. Spoons are very different, and if you find one that's consistent that you like, you can take and make a page of just this one. Just copy the one that worked and then run a whole line of them if you want. Copy the next one that worked, like this one up here, this hummingbird. Depending on how it comes out on this spoon, I might make a whole row of just that size. And this is kind of like the testing phase as you go through, just to see what's going to work. Sometimes you might need this little tiny duck or this little tiny hummingbird. So it's always good to have, but play around in your Word program. I think there's also Open Office is another one you can do that work in. And all you're doing is you're going to right click on the image, and then down towards the bottom it'll say size, and you adjust the size on the top. I think it's by width and length, or length and width. So the size of most of your spoons are, I think it's 1.25 inches-ish. Yeah, just over 1.25 inches, but if you go too close to that edge, you're gonna get too thin in some spots. So I try and stay under 1 inch wide. This is one of the drafts, a new draft pattern I'm gonna be working on. It's gonna take me a little bit. But I just wanted to show you the Modge Podge for putting on the silhouettes, and you can also use tape. So this I used just packing tape that I packed over. It doesn't give you real good underneath coverage. So as you're cutting through this, these intricate patterns, you're gonna want to Mod Podge, so you get the more structural holding it down the pattern. So for all these little tiny cutouts, you're not going to have to worry about them so much pulling up with the Modge Podge. With the tape, it's definitely going to pull up. But all right, make sure you like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you next time. Thanks.